I don't want to talk about this anymore. I want this to be done. You came to my house and you yelled at me and you smashed my car and now you're at my work and I just want it to stop.
Okay, just relax.
I can't. I just want it to stop. I can't.
Okay,
I don't know what you want from me.
So, welcome back to my channel. I am Jason, and this is going to be a recap of Shrill's Season 2, Episode 2, Kevin, I believe is the name of it. Okay, so, Annie is finding out that things are not going to be as easy as she dreamed it would be when she walked in to her job and just decided to quit because things wasn't going her way. So, okay. So it opens with mom's in Canada and Vancouver, and she's kind of just strolling around, and she sets her eye on this hat that's in this it's in the window of this little, I guess, boutique kind of shop. It's this big red hat, and for some reason it catches her eye. Okay, so Annie she's getting ready. She's up, getting dressed, because she's now going to work, try to build a career as a freelancer. And she's kind of, getting dressed, and her and Ryan are talking, and I think she eventually smells something. She smells weed or something, I don't know. And she walks downstairs, and it's Fran and Fran and their friend, well, Fran's friend, I don't know, Emily. And so they're just sitting around doing a little smoke and having a few laughs and having a good time. And she ends up inviting, Emily is having this party, and she obviously invited them and the whole thing. And so they're Fran and Annie are kind of going back and forth because Fran is falling for Vicky. Now Vicky is the woman who threw that pool party for plus size women. So she is now I guess trying to give up her player card, and she is thinking that Vicky might be the one. So Annie was kind of teasing her a little bit because Fran is kind of the love him, and she's been the love him and leave him type for a while. So it's like, okay, so for her things are getting serious with Fran, getting serious with Vicky. So so Annie leaves for the day, and not before they have this awkward conversation about the Cum King. And Fran is basically like, and when you guys decide to get together at night, can you please try to keep it down, and something about the Cum King. And so Emily's like, what in the world is that? And so Annie, of course, describes, okay, it's because he comes and he makes me come, therefore the Cum King. It's like they have this weird whatever. Okay, so that's a lovely picture to have of Ryan as the Cum King. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so Annie leaves for the day, and she goes to the pharmacy to pick up her dad's medication. But she's standing in line, and she's kind of like, it's taking a while for the pharmacist to come. So she looks over, and she sees this huge, she can't see the person, but she sees this huge red hat. And she's like, oh my goodness, what in the world is that? And then she finally realizes it's her mother. And so she's like, okay, when did you get back in town? Why did you not call me? And her dad's there, and she's like, okay, what is going on here? And you just left, and da-da-da. And she's like, well, I came to pick up your medication, but they had already picked up his medication. And her and her mom talked for a little bit, and she was like, oh, and I heard you quit your job. And she was like, yeah, I just did what was best for me, and da-da-da-da. And okay. And so the mom walked away to get Q-tips, and he was basically like, you know what, just let her go. She's back now. Let's just leave. We just gonna leave this alone. It's not the time or the place. We just gonna let it go. And so I think his biggest fear is that she's going to get overwhelmed again and leave again. And so he's just like, he just wants things just to let it go. And so he eventually is like, talking to Annie. She said, okay, fine, whatever. So Annie ends up going back to the office to clean out her desk. And so she talks to Amadi for a while, and he tells her about his promotion as a creative director. Now, I didn't cover this in the last recap, but the creative director promotion came as a result of Gabe feeling like he's always being the bad guy. Okay, and so he thought Amadi didn't come. I keep pronouncing that guy's name, pronouncing his name right. I think it's Amadi. He gave Amadi this promotion because now Amadi can be the bad guy, and people can stop looking at him as if he's this tyrant, right? So, but anyway, Amadi's like, you know what? It's more money. He has a family. it's whatever. So he's telling her about the promotion. So while they're talking, Ruthie comes over and she steps in between them because Ruthie is uncouth and just has no, how she's able to keep a job is anybody's guess. But so she steps in between them. It says that you have a phone call. She has like this ponytail that she's kind of like just flailing all about and hitting Annie all in the face and da-da-da-da. And so he finally says, okay, fine, I'll be there in a minute. And so, they talked for a while, and Amy was like, I think her ponytail hit me in the mouth. He said, well, how are you doing? He started like just being, being funny. He's like, oh, I'm good, thank you, thanks for asking. So she goes over to clean out her desk, and she realizes that her desk has already been cleaned out by guess who? Ruthie. So she looks over at Ruthie's desk. Ruthie's desk is overflowing with shit. She got Annie's family photos on her desk. She got all kinds of stuff. And Annie's like, what the hell? Why do you have my stuff? So she goes to take her stuff out, photos and stuff off the desk. And Ruthie was like, wait a minute, how do you just come in and take my stuff? Ruthie has some mental issues. She's like, are you doing this because I'm a veteran? Are you doing this because I'm trans? And I'm just looking at Ruthie like, this bitch is crazy. She is crazy. So she's like, okay, fine, you can have this photo. So she gives Ruthie a photo of her and her parents when she was a baby. Well, not a baby. She was like a preteen. And so for whatever reason, Ruthie wanted to keep that photo on her desk for whatever reason. Okay, anywho. So, while they're talking, Gabe comes out of his office. She's like, oh, I thought I recognized your voice. So, yeah, how were things going? And she was like, yeah, I think things are good. I'm doing freelance now. He's like, oh, okay, well, I've created a band. It's called Skeevers, I don't know, some name. And he was like, what do you think about that? He's like, oh, she was like, oh, that's fine. He was like, yeah, so you're going to be freelance, huh? He said, but I mean, it's hard out there on your own. At least here you had a built-in audience. And she was like, well, no, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to make it work. He's like, okay, so I'm just going to go back into my office and write a song about Annie's career or something he said. And before she left, she put the stink face like, it's like, okay, Annie girl, okay. So, Fran and Emily sit at the house, they're talking, and Fran is, kind of talking about how things are going with Vicky, and Emily had to break the news to her, like, I don't know if you should, I think that you should kind of fall back a little bit because, I heard through the grapevine that Vicky has been seeing someone off and on for 3 years, and they recently moved in together, and and you kind of see Fran's, she was devastated, but she tried to play it off. So she was she picked up her phone and it was like, what, are you going to text her? I don't think this is a conversation you should have via text. You should have it face to face. She was like, no, I'm deleting her and blocking her and everything. And he was like, oh, she was like, oh, so you disappointed? She was like, no. She said, well, of course I'm sad. It's sad when someone dies, basically that was the end of it. She was like, I'm it's sad when somebody, when someone dies. And so, yeah, I am sad for Emily. So as far as she's concerned, Vicky doesn't exist anymore. So, we see Annie, and she walks into, I forget the name of this company, but you see Kevin O'Donnell, her troll. He's in a meeting, and they're throwing around ideas for this product. I think it's an advertisement or something. And so she just shows up at his office, and she goes to the front desk, and the woman was like, are you here for the so-and-so meeting? And so she kind of lied and said yes. So she went on and sent her back. And so they're kind of throwing around and having a good time in this meeting, kind of throwing around ideas. And the next, he look over and she's standing in the mirror, and he screamed like he had seen a ghost. And that ghost had red eyes, and green pea soup was coming out his mouth, and the head was spun around. Like he screamed like he had just been through it, right? And so, of course, the people in the meeting is like, what the hell was that? He's like, oh, that's my distant cousin who has a drug problem. And then, he just went on this whole thing about trying to explain who she was. So he runs out, like, what the fuck are you doing here? This is my job. Why are you here? She had to go. Andy is something interesting. Okay. So she goes to his job because she wants to write an article about their interaction. And of course he was like, no, you can't write about me. What the hell are you talking about? Why are you here? And you still owe me. It cost me like $2,500 to get my car fixed. And she was like, if you don't do this interview, I'm going to tell people how you really feel about calling you online, calling women fat, so and so. And then she kind of got loud for a minute, and people kind of turned. He was like, fine, I'll meet you out in the parking lot. So now they're out in the parking lot talking, which you saw in the clip, which is part of the clip you saw in the beginning of this video. And he started explaining like what was going on, how he, I guess, just went through a bad breakup, and she was still trying to get him to explain why he did the things that he did, and why was he online harassing people or strangers he doesn't know. And he couldn't explain why he did it. It was just something that he did, and And so you saw the whole breakdown in the beginning where he was like, you know what, I'm tired of dealing with this. I don't want to talk about this anymore. And she was like, oh my God, what is going on? Like he started hyperventilating, like he was afraid of her or something. And she was like, fine, fucking just like, well, fine, okay, it's done. So then he tried to go in to hug her, and she was like, I'm not gonna hug you, you freak. I'm like, bitch, you the one that went to the man's house and busted his window out, and then to call yourself going on the run and Pete's mom's car. And then you come back and then you find out where he lives, works, and he owes his job to basically blackmail him into giving you an interview. Like, okay, as far as I'm concerned, y'all neck and neck in the crazy department. So, okay, so he runs off. Like Flojo, he just like, okay, you know, whatever, fine. So he runs off. And so she's at home and she's now typing up her article later that night. So the following day, that's one of the mangiest looking dogs. He comes into the room and jumps on the bed and kind of wakes her up, and she looks up, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And then you look over and Fran is still in bed. So she goes over like, what is going on? Why did we sleep half the day? What? Did we get carbon monoxide poisoning or something? And so you can see that Fran is depressed. And so she tells her about Vicky, and she, of course, obviously she knows how that feels. And she was like, you know what? We need to go get out of here, and we need to go to Emily's party. And she was like, Fran was like, the only way I will go with you to Emily's party is if you wear that outfit I bought you for Christmas. And so she reluctantly agreed to wear the outfit. And the outfit is basically this bra that's sheer, that have like heart pasties, and this little skirt, this short skirt, high-waisted skirt. I mean, it was kind of cute, but she was like, okay, if you wear that, I'll go. So they go and they have a good time, Lord. And of course, my phone had to start ringing. And so they go and you can see that they're having a wonderful time. Some people are dressed, I guess what you would consider normal dress. And, you know, a lot of people were in costumes. They were all, you know, just having a good time, having drinks. The drinks were flowing. Everybody was just dancing and living their best life. And so, Annie, she decided she's going to check to see how her article is doing. Now, remember when she was with the publication, she was getting like thousands upon thousands of hits and comments and So she goes to check her article, and it is basically 39 comments, and those comments are basically about penis enlargement or something. It's like spam comments right on this article. So she's like down, like, okay, she couldn't understand like why her other articles did well, and now she's like, okay, this thing only has 39 comments, and it's 39 comments that doesn't have anything to do with what I actually wrote. And so, I mean, that is what it is. You know, you decided to leave, and you decided to throw a tantrum and leave because you wasn't allowed to do what you wanted to do on somebody else's dime, and now you're paying the price. You know what people were, when all the concerns that people had about quitting their job is now coming to fruition. Like, the people just, a mature, rational person just doesn't do that. And so she's now having to deal with the aftermath of that. And so, you know, they're still having a good time, and then now it's time for people to perform, and this individual got up and they started singing, and it was a song that I've heard before. I can't think of the name of it, but you know, you can see that people were all into it. It was like kind of like a slow, like kind of the way the person was singing, it was kind of a ballad or whatever. And then you can see Fran tearing up like she's dealing with the loss of the relationship she thought she was going to have with Vicky. And so that's how this episode ended. So it wasn't a whole lot, but it was some points in there, here and there. So I'm going to end this here, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.